Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, I am at a little traveling circus today called Paranormal Cirque. I saw it appear on my Facebook page about a year ago and went back then and decided I wanted to come see it again. This is really kind of a traveling circus slash sideshow slash a little bit of interspersed with horror and all that. It was a lot of fun, some really great stunts going on, and it was a really good show. And so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film in here, but we're going to try and see what happens. Let's go. This is going to be fun. Yeah, this is it here. You can see this right along the side of the freeway coming, when you're coming up to it. Just like I said, they just got a little pop-up tent. They're here for 4 days. This is the third of 4 days. And like I said, it was quite an experience last time. I'm looking forward to seeing it again. This is kind of an interesting setup because they're completely self-contained. What they do is they just go rent out empty fields, and they bring a truck with their own power supply, and basically they can, they're, like I said, they're completely self-contained. And I guess they're actually showing off the power generation ability a little bit here. Adds to the horror, right? I decided I'm going to sit in the car for a little bit because they haven't opened the front gate yet, and it's like 40 degrees out right now, and there's a real cold breeze coming out of the north, and I don't want to get in there. I'm working on being a little bit sick today, so don't want to make it worse, right? Yeah, I'm in here. Last time when I was here, I kind of had seats way over there on the side, so this time I made sure to get front row center. So that's the advantage of ordering your tickets more than a month in advance. Wanted to get the best view. I remember this last time too. There was a guy going around with like a really realistic Chucky doll, letting people get photographed with it. So I got a photo of the Chucky doll. I don't know, maybe they sell it at the end or something like that to sell the photo. So we'll see what happens. Hello everyone, it's post-production Breck. It's the next day and I'm editing this video, and I've been kind of looking at some of the footage, and my original plan was to talk about the little traveling circus a little bit at front, and then just show little bits and pieces of some of the acts that happened during the show. I decided after looking at some of the clips that I actually wanted to turn this into kind of a clip show and talk about some of the things that were happening, because there was a lot of real impressive stuff. This next little clip I'm going to show is clearly it's a bunch of Olympic style gymnasts doing uneven bars where they're bouncing or swinging around the bars and bouncing back and forth. The thing is, they had 4 bars in a square, and they had 3 people on this thing at the same time, and they were going around and they weren't colliding with each other, and they were swinging back and forth and jumping from one bar to the other. I thought that was really impressive. The guys and the men and women in this show are really seriously hardcore athletes, and it's obvious. Check out this next clip. Alright, now in addition to the athletic things that are going on and the great stunts and all that, there's also sort of a little vaudeville show that kind of goes in. I think it turns into kind of transitions from one scene to the other, because a lot of these things require elaborate sets, and rather than having the audience sit there watch them wheel one thing in, wheel the other thing out, they kind of distract you with these little vaudeville shows. There were a couple of these things throughout. There were dancers that would go dancing around in the aisles. I didn't really get a lot of footage of that. There was this one scene that was really funny. Went up to a very scantily dressed woman, walked up to a member in the audience right there in the front row, and started doing some poses for him. The guy was just kind of sitting there staring at her, and every once in a while she'd do something outrageous and he'd like jump and his popcorn would go flying, and it was just really funny. And then at the end she walks away and the guy gets up, puts on a pair of glasses and a white blind white walking cane, and starts walking away like he's blind. It's a lot of these little funny things. Now, they also, in this case, in the case of the next clip I'm going to show you, they actually brought a couple of members of the audience onto the stage and basically just had some fun with them. It was a man and a woman, and basically the guy who brought him on stage was totally flirting with the woman and totally dismissing the guy and treating him like he was nothing and trying to diminish him. Eventually, he ends up pulling him backstage, and they put him into some sort of box, and you hear a chainsaw going off, and the guy and somebody's screaming, and next thing you know, they come out with a platter, and they pull the lid up, and the guy's head is in there. And yeah, it was just these little funny things. Like I said, it was distracting, I think, while they did the scene changes, and I think that was what made this really, really interesting. so in case you wondered and why the music sounded a little bit on the creepy side, in order to avoid copyright issues, I just flipped it backwards. So it's all backwards masked. That's what you're listening to. Now in this next clip, I remember seeing this girl last year when I went to the circus. Apparently she's somebody that she's got long hair, and they tie her hair up in such a manner that they can actually put a hook on it through her hair. So they loop it around, and then they can lift her up and swing her around around the stage by her hair. And basically she's just hanging by her hair, and she's doing these spins, she's flying around, and got like little veils that fly around. Looks like she has wings. It's actually really impressive. And check this out. All right, now this next clip is actually something I remembered that really impressed me from the last time I went and saw this. One of the finales of the show, there's this big loop of death thing that they bring out on stage, and I was actually really impressed how quickly they got that thing out there and set up. Now, they were still doing kind of distraction mode and having the dancers dancing around like that to distract from that, but like I said, it really impressed me last time, and I really kind of paid attention to it because I think that was almost as impressive as some of the show, is how quickly they got this big, massive thing out there, got it installed, got it set up, and got it running. Check this out. So that was a lot of fun. One of the things I noticed this year is that it wasn't the same show as I did last year. It was a lot of different acts. It's, of course, a lot of the performers I think are probably the same individuals every year. I think it's sort of a traveling circus that they do every year, and this was a lot of fun. Now, one of the things I was really excited about last time, that last act where they had the spinning trapeze thing that the guy was running around in the circle, they did that last year too. And one of the things that I noticed was, I thought the most impressive thing was how they pulled that whole contraption out, got it hooked up in like a minute or two. Now, I shot a little footage last year and ended up seeing, how that was done. I was really amazed by that. I decided when they did it again this year, I wanted to see the whole thing and actually film the whole thing, because like I said, that was almost as impressive as the show. So anyway, I had a good time doing this. This Paranormal Cirque is traveling the country. I've seen it in other places, so you can like Google it, check it out if you're interested. It's definitely worth a look. It's 18 or older, definitely. It's not for the faint of heart, but it was a lot of fun. I had a good time doing this, and I hope you had a fun seeing it too. So I think that's all I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.